this is for the second session now of Goshin Jitsu. We are moving on, but before we move on, I'm going to review some of the things that we covered last week, just to test your memory. And we'll go from there. We'll have to actually walk through the first 4 techniques all together as well. So, some of the key principles or comments that you remember from last time. Avoidance. Avoidance from what? Getting hit. So that means that one of the key things that we have to demonstrate in this kata is how to attack, how to create avoidance. All right, so attacking means that as an uke, you are attempting to strike at the right distance. In other words, if you're too far away from somebody, you're not going to be able to make contact. If you're too close to the person, you won't be able to make the proper contact. So distance is important. Posture. So we always say that whoever is attacking should have posture when they attack. And accuracy. So in the kata, there's prescribed target areas. So in other words, if I'm going to strike on a particular move, I have to make sure I hit the target, which in some cases is on the temple, some cases on between the nose, some places elsewhere. So make sure you understand the target. So as an uke, your job is to create an attack that is worthy of avoidance, as mentioned here. So that's the tori side of things, avoidance, because uke is trying to hit you. Now, initially, when you work with a partner, as we said, you have to work slowly because you don't know what the distance is or what the speed is and so on. So you have to work it out. Otherwise, you're going to be hitting each other, which is not a good thing. So we want to make sure that you're always cognizant that your role as uke is to make contact and force tori to avoid, to move out of the way, not to get hit. But then tori then takes over control. And he often gets the hit back at uke, but uke, in this case, uke cannot do an avoidance move. So tori, therefore, has to make sure that they do not contact their uke when they strike. So it's kind of different for each role. One side gets to try hit, the other side has to make sure they hold up and not hit. Okay? So all these things we talked about last time was about posture and balance. So whenever you're attacking, you want to have good balance here, or if you're avoiding, you want to have some good posture after avoiding. All right, so just a couple of things. Then when we get into some of the locks, we'll just check how the locks are being applied, because as an uke, you can tell if a lock is a good attack or a lock or not so good. In other words, there's a little range of discomfort when you're doing the locks. And as an uke, you can tell which is a better one versus not so good. All right, so any questions on this so far? All right, again, we dispensed with the weapons until next class. Next class, when we start to use the weaponry attacks, then we'll pull out the weapons. So one more class without weapons, and therefore we didn't do the opening ceremonies. We had you start off in the center, or sorry, after you've done your bow at the edge. There's normally a tape in the center, normally a tape on the 1 meter spot, and after we do the bow, we take one step forward. So that's why they would be moving from the tape. Okay, so in this case, the bow would normally be from the outside, and they would bow from the edge. They come in 2 steps to the tape. They would turn to shomen and bow there, and then bow again to each other. Okay, so that was the first 4 techniques. The next one will be one from rear, I think. So okay. This is called Yushiro Eri Dori. So Yushiro rear, Eri is collar, and Dori is a hold. What's happening here is that you're just walking ahead, and suddenly uke's going to grab the collar and try to yank you down, pull you back. You notice when she grabs that she's grabbing with her hand, but she's also stepping back again with her body. She's trying to pull you back as she steps back with her left foot. So, okay, when you grab the collar and pull, step back, pulling. Right? When that pull happens, then tori has to react to get the balance back before you lose balance. If she's already yanked you to the ground, that's too late. So as soon as that attack starts to happen, then Tori, you have to regain your balance by turning your body to face. Okay, this gives you your posture and balance back here. So as you're being pulled here, step back here. This will go on the outside of her foot. So as she pulls back here, I'm stepping outside of her foot. Okay, has to keep hanging on. So she's very determined to keep that collar grip. Tori's going to have posture. Tori's going to have his hand up just in case on this side with the left hand, but it's the right hand that's going to do the punch into the solar plex area here. This is a fist down punch or the palm down punch. And again, we want it nice and straight in this spot here. So it's strike here, here, and then after you do the strike, then we're going to finish it with the arm lock. So we're going to put our left hand on the elbow and start to rotate that so the arm turns, so the bump is upwards. We're doing this first and then this. As we do that, your neck will also come into play. So I need to clamp as tightly as I can against her wrist and then kazushi forward or pull her forward a bit. So as I do this here, I have balance again. I have posture. I have one hand on top of the other hand, fully here. And again, all I'm doing is locking it here and pushing this down. So that's where the pressure is on the elbow. 1, 2.
So then they see what you've done when you turned for the camera.
Okay. So from this side here, just walking ahead, grab, fight. 1, 2. And just have posture and balance. Okay. So this is on the elbow. Again, left hand first to get that elbow turning, then the right hand on top to get the pressure down. All right. So work with each other. Take your time to grab the collar. You should be able to access the collar fully. If you have long hair, that's why in competition, the girls or anybody's not supposed to have long hair. They're supposed to be tied up. But in this case here, just work with each other, get the grip, and then work on pulling back. Right? And then Tori does his spin. Always thinking about posture and accuracy of the punch, correct type of weapon used, in this case, this punch, and then the lock. How do you put on the lock? 1, 2, and how do you create kazushi and same time create stability for yourself? Okay? After I've done the turn, I'm moving. After I've done this punch here, 1, 2, I'm moving just a bit back here. Okay? They can go square if they want, but I want to have balance here. I don't want to be square because, like in the Uchikomi drill, you know that this isn't the best of spots to be. So this will give you a little bit better stability. All right, let's try that one out then. That's Yushiro Eri Dori. So next we're going to take a look at Yushiro Jimei. Rear choke. Basically from this one here, Tori is approaching or walking toward the center, and then suddenly there's a choke being applied to you. If you are caught in this choke and the person is pulling you back, if you've gone that far, it's too late. You have to react as soon as this hand is coming around to do a harakajimi. So normally this hand would come around and she would clasp her hand and apply harakajimi. My reaction to this is well before she gets her hands clasped together, I have to do a double hook with my hands on top of the forearm and pull and get my chin down, as well as pulling these arms down to take the pressure off. So by pulling down here, I stop that choke. Now from here, what I will do is to bring my right foot across here and pivot and duck my head underneath. It's still applying pressure to my shoulder here. I'm able to just show that I'm trying to show that my right shoulder is pressing against elbow. This is creating an arm lock. But the reason I'm pushing down is I want my partner to be off balance and downwards. So I'm going to decide to pull that fit and then change into a Yahazu grip, which is the inverted V on the elbow. I still have the lock on the wrist here. And from here, I just pull and try to go down to the ground and then lift up and apply pressure with the chest. Remember to open up the armpit, so pulling it this way. We're also pushing down with the hand here and lifting up with the wrist here. Down, tap, tap, then you can release. Key points from this one for Tori is to make sure that you're going to have your 1 foot ahead, usually when you're walking. Double hook the arm, then step in front, kick it around, so your shoulder is now pressing on the elbow. Pull back a bit to lean the person over, then change your right hand into inverted V grip on the elbow, and then back up and put the pressure on. So we end up going backwards with this one, backwards. All right, we're going to do it from the other angle so you can see again. Tori's just walking ahead and gets caught. At this point here, before you really get in trouble, double hook your hands, take the pressure off here. Double hook, step in front, turn, elbow pressure, back up, and then switch to a Yahazu grip here. V grip here, pressure up. Right. So the pressure of the uke on down, pushing them down is the reason why they go down. You have pressure constantly. After you did this, you do this. This is all downward pressure, and you're backing up the person so they fall down to the front. Okay, so that ends up with another tegatame on this one. The choke is basically trying to do a naked choke. Okay, so come around. You should never actually get to that clamp position because hopefully Tori's already started the hooks to take the pressure off. You just come around here and then feel the hook, the double hook. Terminology called Yushiro, which you know is rear, and a jime in judo is a choke. Okay? All right, we just finished doing the one where we took the person down on his stomach there. The next one starts off on this side. I'm Tori, she's okay. Again, we're approaching each other, and in this case here, she's going to try to basically bear hug me and then toss me. So if you hear, like, you know, the wrestlers, they do sort of a lean back toss type of action here. So if if you're not reacting fast enough, then you're going to get tossed. But in this case here, as soon as the hands comes out, I see it, feel it. So I'm going to flare my hands open, but same time, first I'm actually doing a stomp on their foot. So her foot should be ahead, her right foot should be ahead, and that's where normally you would hit that with your heel. We don't hit each other on this one, so I just stomp on the inside. Stomp it there. Okay, so that's part of it. That's the first part to loosen her up. Once I've done the stomp, I also separate the arms, separate her arms. My hands flare out like that, right? That's part one. Now I want to get control of her right hand. So I'm going to be grabbing with my left hand her right wrist. So we're going to get that. And I'm also going to be turning to rotate so I can get my forearm into her elbow. Again, you can feel where the bump is. That's where you want to get. For me, I have also the use of my right shoulder to stop her from, to create pressure. So this part is going this direction. This pressure here is going in that direction, and this is blocking. So if I do this here, you feel pressure on the elbow. As you do that, you're going to lift up upwards and forward. In other words, her going that way. So that's forward for her. I want to turn and apply the pressure. Previously, I like to do a wrist lock here, but they say it's not necessary. You just want to turn the hand. Either you can turn it so the palm is away from you, or turn it so the palm is toward you. Okay? As long as you got ability to create pressure on the elbow. So again, I'm using my shoulder, I'm using my wrist. I'm also using this part of my hand, which is the bony part of your wrist, on top of the bony part of her wrist or elbow. That really smarts, okay? If I use the fatter part of my forearm up here, it's a little more padded, isn't quite the same effect. So if you can get the bony part onto it, then there's the reason to be feeling the pressure. Okay, once we get the pressure up and forward, then the idea is I'm going to toss her. How do I do that? I'm going to open my hips and basically drive her into the corner, drive her in. So once we've gotten this lift here, then we're just going to open ourselves here and just throw, let go, let her do a break fall, and then you could just take your natural posture from there. So a lot of pieces again. First thing is stop her attack, which is involved going here, get control of her. So the wrist again, and elbow here. You can see that it's high, okay? Up here. So here, turn and toss, let her just do a natural break fall. Okay?
Yeah, it's like, I'm like up and then I'm.
Yeah, okay. Again, if you feel the right pressure, you should feel like you have to come up on your toes. If the person is doing this to you, you should feel that, oh yeah, I have to move ahead. Where her arm is, so for me, I try to keep it close to her side as opposed to out there and try to do it. Okay? You can experiment, but either way, you guys do like it this way, that's fine. You can have the palm facing toward Ferrari. As long as you got that bony part on the bony elbow, then there should be pressure. Yeah, okay. So that's called Kakai Dori. I think the English is bear hug or something like that, but the whole idea is you're trying to get there. So when you're attacking, okay, make sure you get to at least here to bear hug. All right, this foot, right foot should be ahead. But you'll never get to this paint because they'll do the stomp and flare out right away. These are different attacks. Up to now, we've been doing attacks that are considered to be close range. These are attacks where we're approaching each other, but we're attacking a little bit without contact, you might say. So after the last one, the Kakai, the bear hug one, we go back to our original sides. So bang, thrown it there. Then we return to our original sides, the 1 meter spot. At this point, again, we're approaching each other. I don't know what's going on until I see this happening. She's going to try hit, bang, hammer blow to the side of the temple. Again, the first two steps are just to get within 2 meter range. You don't show anything. So when you start, you're not our attack. You're just approaching here, 1, 2. It's on 3 that you load up everything. 3 is, sorry, inhale. And then 4 is exhale. and go for the target. The target in this case is the temple. The hammer blow is the weapon. And again, posture for okay when they attack. Don't get hit. In this case here, I'm going to avoid by stepping back with my right foot here and sweeping forward. All right, so as we get to this position here, I step back and make her miss. I sweep this down. From here, now it's open for me to do a uppercut. And then I'm going to change to a yahazu on the throat. Okay, this is that. So we're going to go from here up to, now from here on, this hand is switching to this. This hand is switching this way. So I'm going from palm down to palm up. I'm going to push that into the side of her and lean her back. And we're going to do an osoto otoshi. So we're going to step behind and step down and drive her down to the mat. So avoid it, don't get hit. Here, sweep, uppercut, change your grip. From here to here, uppercut, step behind, and drive this down. Okay? Drive it down on the throat. Obviously, don't hit the guy in the throat when you land. Push him down. Also, for me, I like to give a little support with this elbow. So as they fall down, they have a little bit of support here. Drive it down here. Okay? From the other side, here, approach each other, here. Just drive it down. Okay. So, good attack. In other words, when she misses, she should only miss about here if she misses. But Tori also has a little bit extra to help her get off balance. And at that point, it also allows you to have straight access to the jaw for the punch. Once you've done the punch, change your grip and take him down. Next one, Nagotsuki, where it switched again from this side to the other side. This one here, the person is trying to approach and uppercut you. So if I don't do anything, she's going to nail me right there. Uppercut. Okay, you see the posture she has, the right foot forward, the foot is pointed ahead. Yeah, thank you. All right, because my focus is here, everything's here. So when she's attacking, she's using her body, hitting the uppercut here. Avoidance in this case is just to move yourself back a bit, but moving back with some posture again, rather than lean back like this and be sort of like the matrix type of feeling here. Just try to move back with some posture here. So avoid and catch. Okay, just a little avoidance here, and I want to catch the fist just in front of my face, because remember, if she misses, she's not going to overcompensate and roll it. She's going to come in with balance and posture. So generally, it'll stop right about there. That means that your hand could basically wait for it there. So avoid, catch it right there. I have palm to the back of the hand. From here, I'm going to roll it. So I'm going to roll it up. So she has a chicken wing up here. I'm going to stick my thumb into the crook of the elbow here and create imbalance here. From here, I'm just going to shove this towards the front corner. But also, this hand is a bit of a lock. So even though I'm coming up here, I'm not just doing this, I want to sort of create action with that forearm. And that'll make her lean more, okay? So as you avoid here, crook it, and then step through and push, okay? When you do this, again, you should be able to just control the wrist. But if you put a wrist lock on it, here, here, and here, you do this type of action, a hineri, then for sure that chicken wing is going to be up in the air. And then can you push, do the throw. But for now, you can just catch it, roll it, get the thumb in the air, shove that toward the ear, into the direct corner and step through and just give it a little push and let her do a simple kaitan. Wherever we were practicing our punches before, we're using both hands. This is a left hand punch. So even though we approach each other here, she's just going to get the pose and she's trying to punch. It should be the face of it. Okay, she's trying to punch the face with her left hand punch. So again, if I don't do anything, she's going to hit me. I don't want that. I don't get hit. So I'm going to do a front thigh sabaki. In other words, I'm going to step to my front corner. So I'm here, I'm going here, avoiding. From that point here, after I avoid, I'm just going to give her a punch in the kidney area, down in this area here, with a straight punch here. And then that'll give her a bit of a shocker there. Head comes up. I now move behind her into a Hadaka Jimmy, moving back.
I'm a little slow.
So this is a Hadaka Jimmy, not elbow forward. Just place this hand normally around the shoulder area. That means that when you clasp your hand, your wrist area here is going to be on the throat, and that's what you want. If I bring my elbow around too much here, then it's not on the throat, and I have really not an air choke at all. So I want to have an air choke by coming from behind and pulling back. Once she taps, then I just step out of the way and let her do a break fall in front of me.
That's how fast and good he gets it on my practice.
Okay. So left hand punch, avoidance, don't get hit back, here, move behind, and then get the choke on. Submission, in this case, tap, you use a footer attack again. Yeah. And then just open the door and let it fall down in front of you. Cover a couple of key points on all these taxes. Any attacks we're doing, again, think about your posture, think about your positioning, think about how you're applying techniques, okay? As you do these attacks, again, more and more the effect of that uke attack is going to be evident. It's going to be a lot sharper. But for now, as you are getting used to each other, we don't expect you to come in hard, full blast, because you'll probably not avoid in time. So again, key is don't get hit, don't get next week, we're going to start with the weapons. So it also means don't get stabbed, don't get shot. All right. So we'll look at the weapons next week as well. But we have two more kicks, which are the unarmed attacks to do next week. We'll start off with the two kicks that are remaining, and then we'll get into the armed attacks. That again involves the stick, the knife, and the gun. All right. So that's all for next week. And that'll do it for this week. So that's about it. That's great. Great. Thank you very much. And again, the video will be available on the Judo Alberta site after I edit it down. All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Thank you.